All right, this is going to be a little video tutorial on how to get the Memo 2 ad budget assignment completed. There's a couple of ways in which you can use this video. You can watch the entire video and it'll walk you through step by step everything in terms of how to do it. You can always pause the video um, and come back and while you do some work if you can't keep up while the direction is being explained to you, or if you are working on your own and you all of a sudden you get stuck with step number 6, there should be a time here. If you look at your directions, there should be a time. There is not one there yet. But then you can just cue the video to whatever time is listed over here on the side. And then you can do just that step, stop the video, put it away, and continue on your own. So you choose whichever method you would like. Step number 1, we have to download the file from Classroom and then move it to our folder. So in Classroom, and again, it doesn't matter, I'm in a period 3 class right now. There should be in the table 2 topic area a download this file button, and then the 3 dots in the corner, and then onto the open in a new window. And then you'll see it appear here, which now you have a download arrow. You click the download arrow and it'll show up down here. Click on the little arrow that points up here to do show in Finder. And then you can copy and paste it, drag, drop it. I'm going to copy and paste, Command C, go to Documents, Computer App, the Word folder, and then you can paste it in there. And then when you double click it, it'll open it up like that. Okay. Looks like I got 2 of them open here. So I'm going to close one of them up. Okay. So there's my one file. I'm going to close up my Finder. You can do, of course, whatever you want. I'm going to back myself out of my download area. There we go. So step number 1 should be done. Now, I'm not going to keep coming back and reading directions here all the time. You certainly are free to come back and again, pause the video when you need to. All right. Step number 2, you're going to put your cursor in the examiner.com cell and then add a row above examiner.com. So we're back over here. And here's the examiner.com cell. Okay, add a row above it. And there's a couple of ways to actually add a row. You can right click and do the insert row above, or if you prefer, you can look at the table layout tab. Now remember, there's a layout tab. And then because we're using a table, there's a table design and a table layout tab. And then here would be the buttons that you can click on for insert the row above. So there you go. You have yourself a new row. Step number 3, you're going to click the first cell of this new row and you're going to type in the word San Francisco Examiner. Now, if I type too fast, if I type too slow, you pause the video and then tab over and type 15,300. And again, all these directions, what to type and all that stuff is listed back here on, these steps. There it is. Type San Francisco Examiner, press tab, and then type 15,300. Step 4, select the entire row with the words the independent and delete the entire row. So here is the independent. If you want to select it, kind of just depends on which way method you prefer. I'm just going to click on the independent, and up here I'm going to choose delete the row. And now that row is gone. Step 5, I'm going to add a column to the left of the location column. So here is the location column. Remember, columns go up and down. I can have my cursor actually anywhere in this column. And I'm going to insert a column to the left. Again, you can right click and follow those commands. I'm just going to come up here, insert left, and there I have myself a new column. I'm going to click in the very first cell of this new column, and I'm going to insert the word type. Step 6, I'm going to add a column to the right of location. So I have to click somewhere in the location column, and whatever your preferred method is, you insert a column to the right. At the top of the new column, you're going to type the word details. And don't forget, you need to save your document every once in a while. All right. Step number 7, it says enter the text below for the type and details column. So you'll see that we need to have some text in here and we need to have some text in here. Okay. You're probably going to have to go back to your directions. I'm going to close that up. You're going to probably have to go back to your directions. Here it is. So print, web, miscellaneous, and all this goes in the first column under the word type. And then all of this stuff goes in the column under details. So if I'm over here, I'm going to type in the word print. I'm going to go down and type in the word web and miscellaneous and so on. I have to fill all of this up. Then I'm going to go back and type in all of this stuff for the details column. So I'm going to pause the video and do my typing. You can then just pause the video as well. And when you're done with all your typing, you can come back and resume the video. Okay, so you should now have all of this information in the type column and the details column. You should have it all entered on your document. So your document should look like this. Step number 8. Position the pointer over the border between first and second columns. So that would be in here. This is the column between the first and the second. It's just the border, between the first and the second column. And when you get a pointer that looks like a two-headed arrow that points left and right. See, sometimes you can get down here and you get an up and down arrow. You want to keep moving it till you get a left-right arrow. Okay. And what you want to do is you want to drag that over to the left to the half-inch mark on the ruler. Now, first of all, if you look up here and you don't see a ruler, click on that view menu right here, and on this ribbon, make sure ruler is selected. Okay, so make sure your ruler is selected. Now, where is the half-inch mark? Well, here's 1 inch right here. See that? So a half-inch would be right here. Okay, so two-headed arrow, left and right pointing, click and drag it to the left till it is a half-inch. There you go. So it's not an auto fit, and we've done the auto fit right here before. This one is not an auto fit. Step number 9, position the pointer over the right border of the location column. So here's the location. So anywhere on this border, again, an arrow that points left and right. You get the double arrow that points left and right, and then you double click. If you double click, you get what's called an auto fit. So then what that does is it makes that column the size as if it just fits all the text perfectly. Like over here, it left some white space. This pulls it right up to the edge. Step number 10, double click the right border of the details column with the double-headed arrow pointer. So over here, see a double-headed arrow left, right, and then you just, details column. Wrong one, right here. Details column, double click, and it auto fit that one. Step number 11, double click the right border of the cost column. So the arrow points left and right, and double click, and so you auto fit. So actually we did an auto fit on column, this one location, details, and cost, and then this column type, we made it a specific size, like a half of an inch. If everything would have been auto fit, we could have just used our auto fit button. Step 12, move the pointer over the table and then click on the table move handle that appears outside the upper left corner. So it's that four-headed arrow. See it right there? You're just going to click it. Okay, when you click it, your whole table will become selected. Step 13, click the Home tab and then click the No Spacing button in the Styles group. This is your Styles group. It's going to be one of these steps that you just got to trust yourself. We'll talk more about what this Styles group is in another assignment. You're looking for the one called no spacing. If by chance you can't find it, you can scroll through to find them. And there it is, no spacing. When you actually click it, your table will look like nothing happened. And for now, just trust that that is correct. Step 14, with the table still selected, click the Table Tools Layout tab. That's up here. And click Distribute Rows. So what it's going to do when you click it, it's going to make all the rows the same size. There you go. Step 15, click in the Details column. Click the Table Column Width text box, width right here, and take that number out and type in 3.5. You don't have to type the inch mark. Then you can press the Enter or the Tab key, and everything in the Details column is now a different size. It's no longer an auto fit. Step 16, select the table. That means click that square with the four-headed arrow. And then click Align Center Left. So again, on the Table Layout tab, these are your cell alignment buttons. So there's 9 of them. If you hover over them, they all have a little screen tip that'll pop up, Align Top Center Left. And I believe it's the 4th one that will give you, Align Center Left. When you click it, when you watch down here, all of our text, it already is at the left of our cells, but you notice how it's not in the middle? So if you do that, it'll stay left and it'll go to the middle of the cell. Step number 17. We're going to get into the sorting steps now. So for step 17, just put your cursor somewhere in the table. You don't need it highlighted. Pick a cell, put your cursor in the table. Step 18, go to the Table Layout tab right up here and click on Sort. Way down here. And you should get a box up that looks like this. Okay. Step 19, in the lower left corner, click on the dot for header row. So your table actually has a header row, type, location, details, and cost. We want to keep that header row at the top of our table. We don't want to mix it in with the other text. So down here, my list has a header row. That will prevent that from happening. Step 20, you're going to sort the information by type in descending order. And then do not click OK. So up here where it says sort by, these are all the names of your columns. We want to sort by type. Do not see this type box. That's nothing for us to change here. And then over here, there's descending and ascending. Ascending would be like alphabetical order, A first, Z last. Descending is going to be Z last and then A first, but do not click OK. So you want to sort by type in descending order. Don't click OK. Step 21, down here, then sort by location. So there's all these different ways you could do a second sort. So you want to type sort by location. Again, skip these boxes right here. And you want to do that in descending order as well. Now you can click OK. Now you need to check your document, and there is a picture of what it looks like. Here it is, step 22, okay, of what yours should actually look like. So all the webs are first, then the prints, then the miscellaneous. So that's descending order. And if you have more than one web, these two are descending order. And so if you need to pause the video and make sure, undo things and try again, or ask a question, this is where you should be for step 22. Step 23, we're in this section called splitting and merging cells. So step 23 is to select the 2 cells that contain the text web right here in the first column of the table. Merge these 2 cells together. So you select over them. On the Table Layout tab, there's a Merge Cells. I believe there's also one on the right click. So you merge the cells together, and then you're going to delete. And notice it went right to the middle, didn't it? You're going to just, not everything. You're going to delete the text and then retype the word web just one time. Make sure it is in the center. If you accidentally have an enter in there, it'll look like web is a little too high. If you turn your character marks on, aha, see that? I got an extra blank line in there. I delete that blank line, and now my web will go back to the middle. And again, you can turn your character marks off if you want to. Step 24, select the 3 cells that contain the words print, merge them together, delete those 3 words, type the word print so it's in the middle of the cell. Step 25, select the 2 cells that contain the text miscellaneous and merge them together. Now, if you wanted to, you just got to you can only have 1 miscellaneous. You can delete it like this, but you'll notice, see, it doesn't go to the middle. And so you got to get that enter out of there to get it to the middle. Step 26, click on the Mooney bus stop cell. That's this one right down here. Then click the Insert Row Below button. So on the Table Layout tab, there it is, Insert Below. And that's what you should have, a new row at the bottom of your table. Step 27, select the first 3 cells in this new last row of the table. Now, careful, there's 4 cells there, so you only want the first 3. Select the first 3 cells in the last row and click the Merge Cell button. Step 28, click the first cell, and there really are only 2 now in this last row, and then click Split Cells. So what that means is we want more cells within this one cell. So click this first cell of the table, this last row, excuse me, and then up here you click on Split Cells. And step 29, in this Split Cells box, where it says the number of columns for this area, type 1 in the number of columns. You can tab down, and for the number of rows, type a 3. And then you can click OK. And when you watch in that box, you now have 3 little skinny rows instead of 1 big row. And they're all the same size, which is exactly what you want to happen. Step 30, you're going to click in the empty cell at the bottom right corner. That's this one right here. And you're going to do another split cells. And basically, it's going to be the same thing. You want 1 column and you want 3 rows. So you click OK. And now you have the same 3 that you have over here. You have them in the last cell as well. Remember to save your document every once in a while. Step 31 is just a check to make sure that what you have here matches what is on the directions for step number 31 right here. Don't worry that the lines are kind of gray. Yours are black. That's okay. And so if you have everything correct, then you can, of course, move on. Okay, we're going to start with now step 32. You're going to click in this first blank cell down here that you just created, column 1 over here, and you're going to type in the words total cost. You're going to press the tab key. That'll take you over here, and you're going to click on the formula button in the layout tab. That's the FX. And here's the formula box right here. And we want to enter a formula that adds up all these numbers right here, all these numbers. So you have to think to yourself, is sum above correct? Do I want to add the numbers above my cursor? And the answer to that is yes. There is no number format or anything else you need to change. All you got to do is click the OK button, and you should get 113 550. And remember, if I click on it, it's going to turn gray, meaning that's a number that I got a formula with. Just so you know, if I click, see up here, there's no gray no gray background. That means I typed that number in. So the number that you see there, 1135500, is correct. Step 34, select this this number 12,000 in the cell above, right here. We're going to actually highlight across it like that. Highlight that cell and then insert a new number, 13,500. Step 35, press the down arrow key one time and right-click the cell and then update the field. So what happened here is we changed the number 13 to 13,500, but the total cost, which when we added all these numbers up, did not change. So down here on this cell with 1135500, you're going to right-click it and you're going to do update field. When you update the field, you'll get now the new number of 115050. Step 36, press the tab key. That should take you over back to the left, column 1, under the words total cost, and type the word budgeted. Press the tab key and type in the number 113,780. Again, you can go back to your directions and see these numbers or pause the video, whatever you need to do. Now press the tab key and you should be under the word budgeted and type the word difference. Press the tab key and now you're under the 113780 number. Step 37, click the formula button. Step 38, select the formula that you see here, equals sum above. You can delete it and then type in equal B9 minus B10. So it's going to take and subtract these two numbers, B9 and B10, right here. Step 39, click OK and save your changes. And you should get, step 40, you should get 1,270 in that cell. Now, if you do Command A, all of these numbers were typed, and these two numbers are formulas, and this one is typed. That's what you should have. All right, we're moving on. You can go back if you need to and check your document, but we are moving on to step 41, the final stretch. Step 41, click the table move handle to select the table. So up here, you have to click on this, where with the four-headed arrow, and click the Align Center Left button. So that's cell alignment. We're on Align Center Left. Click the table move handle and click the Align Center Left. Okay, I think we got that one already. Step 42, select the entire type column except for the last 3 rows. So the type column is here, except for the last 3 rows. So you don't want total budgeted and difference. Click the Align Center button. That's this one right here. Look for your screen tip, Align Center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you do that, now the text is centered left to right and top to bottom. Step 43, select the entire cost column. So all these numbers get highlighted with the word cost, and click the Align Center Right button. So again, you go back up here and you go Align Center Right. It's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th one. And now those will all go over to the right, and then they stay in the center, top to bottom. Step 44, select the last 3 rows of the table and include the numbers on the right. So the last 3 rows is these 3 plus the 3 numbers over here on the right. Click the bold button or do your shortcut Command B. Then click the Align Center Right button right here. Step 45. Select the first row of the table. Okay, the first row of the table is up here. So you highlight across it, select the first row of the table, click the center button. So on the table layout tab, center would be that one right here. Yep. And then change the font size to 14. And then bold it. Step 46, select the type and location cells in the first row. The type and location cells in the first row. Merge the cells. So I'm going to go to the table layout tab and I'm going to merge the cells. It looks kind of funny, I know, doesn't it? Delete the text. And then type in the new text of add location. So it should look just like that. Step 47, select the text web, print, and miscellaneous cells in the first column. So just web, print, and miscellaneous in the first column. You want to add the format of bold to them. Then click the text direction button 2 times. So on the table layout tab, text direction is right here. Click it once, click it twice, and yours should look like it's laying on its side. All right, click step 48. Click to lose your highlight. Position the pointer over the right border of the web cell. So right here, get a 2-headed arrow left and right. Then drag the border to the left to the 1/4 inch mark on the ruler. So if you look up here, you have this one right here. That's the left margin. 1/4 inch is going to be right in here somewhere, like right here. That one right, that arrow right there. So if I click, and remember, if at first you don't succeed, undo and try again. So if I click and hold, I'm going to bring that back to that second, there it is right there, and I drop it. So just made it a little bit smaller. Step 49, go to column 1 and put your cursor in the web cell. I know, now it's kind of, your cursor is going to go sideways because you turned your text. On the Table Design tab, find the shading button, paint bucket, and add a shading color of gold accent 4. So golds are here, and if you hover over them, you'll see gold accent 4 right here. That'll give it that gold look right there. Select the 6 cells to the right of the web cell. That would be these right here, these 6. Select the 6 cells to the right and add a shading color of gold accent 4, but lighter 60. So you got your gold column, accent 4. So now you just need to know which one is lighter 60%. There's lighter 80. There it is, lighter by 60%. Step 50, go to column 1. Put your cursor in the print cell. Shade this cell with green accent 6. Right here, green accent 6. Select the 9 cells to the right and add a shading of green accent 6 lighter by 60%. So here's your 9 cells. And the shading for that will be the green lighter by 60%. I'm going to undo that. I'm trying to save it. Missed it. Okay. Step 51. Go to column 1 and put your cursor in the miscellaneous cell. Shade this with blue accent 1. Select the 6 cells to the right and add the lighting lighter by 60%. Step 52, select row 1 of the table. So the whole thing, row 1. Add the shading of blue accent 1. Step 53, select the last 3 rows of the table. So the last 3 rows are this area that we have down here where we did all the splitting of cells, and remove the borders. So that would be on the table design tab down here where the borders are. When you click that arrow right there, okay, remove the borders. That would just be a command that says no border. Now what's left behind are these, don't lose your highlight by the way, are these little dotted lines. That's to show you just kind of a guide of where, if you had borders, this is where they would actually go. Step 54, with the last 3 rows still selected, add a top border. So what we did is we lost this border down here underneath these blue cells. So we're just going to go back up here and we're just going to add the top border back in. And you'll see when you click it, you'll see the black line or blue line, doesn't matter, black or blue, appear. Click in the cell with the number 1270. That's the difference. And again, don't worry that the dotted lines are there because they're a non-printing line. They're just for a guide. Change the pen color to blue accent 1. Make the size 2 1/4 and add a border above the number 1270. Now you can do this a couple different ways. This is a small enough area that you could actually just paint it if you wanted to, or you could go up here and add a top border. Save your document. All right, you should be done. There's a picture on the steps at the bottom. This is what yours should look like. Okay. Keep in mind that you have 2 cells that have formulas in it. And when they are clicked on, they should turn gray with the background. The rest of these numbers, if you do Command A, it's easier to tell. These were all typed in. These 2 are formulas. And so everything is set. And I think your job is to save it and wait for further instructions as to how to turn it in.